Hello, I am Cecilia Nordenkull and the author of KARL XII Kungamord, in English, Charles XII of Sweden, Regicide. The book provides irrefutable proof that Charles was assassinated by his brother-in-law, the German Prince Frederick of Hesse, Sweden's commander-in-chief, with support of foreign allies. I have already presented a summary of the whole story in separate YouTube clips in Swedish and in English. You can find the links at the website iconsofeurope.com. But this time I will focus on the murder plot itself. Frederick's long-standing goal was to become King of Sweden. In 1718, his ally, King George I of Great Britain, wanted to stop Charles from sending troops to Scotland. And the Duke of Orleans, Regent of France, wanted to stop the King of Spain, Charles' partner, from taking over the interim regency in France. Officially, Charles was killed by an enemy grape-shot bullet in a trench in front of the fortress Fredriksten in Norway, where he is said to have stuck up his head in the intense enemy fire in the evening of the 30th of November 1718. But a thorough reading of the witness reports shows that Charles was already dead when he was placed over the parapet of the trench. This fact is corroborated by the Swedish head of the forensic team in 1917, the distinguished professor Carl Magnus Fürst. He observed unofficially in 1920 that both the head and the body of Charles' embalmed corpse had bullet wounds, and concluded that the king had been shot by a Swedish cannon battery. So, as Charles was not shot in a trench, where was he killed? Charles could only have stood at a protected vantage point behind the trenches, where he could be reached by a Swedish cannon battery at Åskleiva, 700 meters away on the northern side of the Tistedal River. Based on the military groupings of more than 25,000 troops, the movements of cannon batteries that day, and his previous tactics, Charles stood there to give the start signal to a triple attack on the fortress. He was killed by a swarm of grape-shot bullets fired from the Åskleiva battery. Two foreign adjutants then dragged his corpse to a trench and declared him shot there. This was a premeditated murder organized by Frederick of Hesse himself. Here are 5 elements of irrefutable proof. 1. Frederick's motive to have Charles eliminated was precipitated in the middle of October 1718, when his wife Ulrika Eleonora, Charles' sister, had secretly proclaimed herself Queen of Sweden. It was assumed that Charles had been killed on a special mission in Norway. But unaware of his sister's proclamation, he returned alive to Strömstad, where he met with Frederick on the 23rd of October. The stakes were now at their height. 2. Frederick convinced Charles that His Majesty's life was in danger and persuaded him to replace his adjutants and bodyguard with foreign officers loyal to Frederick himself and the Duke of Orléans. A French ambassador paid a visit to Frederick in November. The ploy is written down in a 12-point document Frederick had prepared for the meeting with Charles. The handwritten notes are available in Sweden's National Archives. Here is a copy of the first page. Three, the witness reports reveal that the foreign officers, including a German bodyguard, a German colonel, a French engineer, and a French adjutant, had been given precise orders in advance on how to proceed after Charles was shot by the Åskleiva battery. That is, carry Charles' corpse to a trench, declare him shot there, cover his body with 2 coats, transport him to a battery in the name of a simple officer, and keep his death secret. Only Frederick had had the authority to issue these instructions to Charles' new adjutants and bodyguard. 4. As key witnesses to the events, the foreign officers revealed inadvertently in their reports their participation in the murder plot. For example, Sikre said, "The cannon battery was aimed exactly towards the angle where he stood." Kaulbach said, "At the 4th cannon shot, I heard the impact on His Majesty's head." Maigret said, "The play is over, let's go and have supper." 5. The day after, Frederick manipulated the War Council that consisted mainly of German officers. The protocol did not report when, where, and how Charles was killed. It only mentioned in passing his death as an unfortunate and regrettable incident. In summary, Frederick of Hesse organized the assassination of Charles XII with the assistance of foreign allies and their local foreign henchmen. It was not a conspiracy of Swedish officers, nor a mistake by a Swedish battery, nor a Norwegian stray shot. It was a premeditated murder instigated by a German prince who became King of Sweden, Frederick I. Thank you.